Hey, today we're going to be seeing how strong XL Wobbuffet can be in the Open Great League. Talk about a steep investment, but with access to Counter or Charm and the charge moves of Return and Mirror Coat, it can counter Pokemon like Bastiodon, Galarian, Stunfisk, Lanturn, Swampert, and Medicham. So this Pokemon is not something to look down upon, it's actually something to potentially fear if you cannot handle it. Now today's team is going to be showcasing Wobbuffet paired with Shadow Charizard and an XL Lickitung. Let's see how they do. Alright, getting into the first battle, these were submitted by Pochum or Broke Traveler ED. They have two different names, a fellow content creator and streamer on Twitch, so I'll have a link to their channel down in the description. But we have a Charizard versus Altaria here on the lead. Now, Dragon Breath is really going to add up, but thankfully with Wing Attack and Dragon Claw, you can put a lot of pressure. We do see a swap out now into the Lickitung, drawing out a Shadow Machamp. So this is an ideal situation where you can get yourself potential shield advantage if you can survive the cross chop, which they look to do, and now they go for the Power Whip. This is a really good opportunity for them to load up on energy with Charizard, as they will. No, the opponent didn't shield and they survived. I thought for sure that was getting a shield right there, but now this is going to be a very tough situation as Charizard is going to have to come back in and farm down, and they are extremely low on health, and Altaria has a charge move ready to go. So we'll have to see what that final Pokemon is, but already down a shield, things are not looking too ideal, but hopefully they can even shields right here, and maybe Wobbuffet has a really good matchup in the back as they do get a shield. They're going to go ahead and swap into the Wobbuffet, get ahead on energy, and it's going to be a Venusaur in the back. So let's see how this plays out. Mirror Coat is going to be doing super effective damage, but with the bulk, Frenzy Plant isn't going to be enough. You saw that only does like 20% HP. So it's going to take, I would estimate, about 3 to 4 Frenzy Plants in order to take out the Wobbuffet right here, while a Mirror Coat might just be enough. It's not going to be enough to one-shot, but it's definitely going to do more than 20%, I would think, in this matchup, as it does land. Okay, 20, we'll put that at 25, a rough estimation, but it's a good amount of damage considering it's from a Wobbuffet and it's a very terrible charge move. So yeah, it's looking like 3. They're going to go ahead and swap now into Charizard to catch the charge move. They're going to be forced to shield as well, so things are not looking good as there's still an Altaria in the back. We see a swap out now, and they do get to the Dragon Claw in time, and this is going to be a very tough situation as the Venusaur might just be forced to throw, but if they can farm down with Vine Whip, no, they're going to be forced to throw right here. All right, it's all a matter of how much energy is going to be on the Wobbuffet and the Venusaur. Wobbuffet's very close to the Mirror Coat, and they get to it in time. So Wobbuffet clutching up this game, taking out the Venusaur, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. We have Charizard versus Whiscash. Okay, so somewhat of a decent matchup. I know typically Mud Boys like Swampert, you really got to watch out for Hydro Cannons, but in this case, the charge move you have to really watch out for typically is going to be a Blizzard, which will do a lot of neutral damage. But look at that. They are forced now to swap out into a Shiny Golbat. Mind you, these battles as well were done in the first week of Go Battle League being released. That's why you're seeing the levels and whatnot. So if you guys want to go check out where this trainer is and their progression and what teams they're running, again, their Twitch channel is going to be down in the description. But we see a Shiny Golbat right here, and a Lickitung is going to go ahead and come in and look to lock this thing down, as the only charge move really is going to be Poison Fang, which does lower the defenses right here. But honestly, XL Lickitung is so bulky it doesn't need to worry about it too much. What it really wants to do is overload on energy and put more shield pressure against that Whiscash that we're going to see likely coming back in. So they're going to go ahead and go for the Body Slam right here. This should do enough damage to just take out the Golbat. If not, they might just be able to farm down. Yeah, they'll be able to farm down, but we see a swap out now into Altaria. So thankfully they do have another Body Slam ready to go, but their Charizard is extremely low that they may not be able to safely come back in with it. So it's again going to be up to Wobbuffet to really close this game out, as another Body Slam is going to be fired off here against the Altaria. They do counter swap now into the Wobbuffet, hoping that the Mirror Coat is going to be just enough damage, and with the bulk and shields remaining, I think Wobbuffet can actually take this. Remember that Whiscash is in the yellow, about 25% HP from the Blast Burn. Now there is still, the Altaria has a lot of energy right here, so they're going to go ahead and look to let this next Sky Attack go through. That doesn't do that much damage. Wobbuffet is extremely tanky. They max out on energy, and return is still something they have to worry about as the opponent, because because it can just do so much neutral damage. The Mirror Coat, not enough to take it out. Golbat comes back in, hoping to go for a potential Shadow Ball, and this is the best use of the shield left in the game. Even though it was a Poison Fang, the potential Shadow Ball right there could have been deadly. Now we're going to see a potential sack swap as they do come in with the Lickitung, but unfortunately the Whiscash farms down. And this is looking very tough as Charizard now is going to be coming in, soaking some energy from Whiscash, and hopefully this is the Blizzard, but it's just going to be the Mud Bomb, yeah. Just the Mud Bomb, and now it's up to Wobbuffet to close this game out. There's still a shield remaining. There's still an Altaria, but let's see if it can pull it off. They do get the shield right there. Can they fully counter down, though, as a charge move now coming through is going to be the Blizzard. No! Oh my goodness, Wobbuffet hangs on, able to get to the Mirror Coat in time, and now it's going to be Dragon Breath versus counter Wobbuffet versus Altaria in the final face-off, and Wobbuffet takes it with 1 HP and a dream. I definitely thought that was a loss. That Blizzard did like no damage. Wobbuffet, you're extremely thick. All right, we got Lanturn here on the lead. So let's see what they decide to do. They're going to go ahead and come in with the Wobbuffet right now, as the opponent is loading up on energy, probably building up to a back-to-back Surf right here. That way they have energy on the back end, and maybe look to try to come in with what I would guess might be a Trevenant. But let's see what they decide to do. No, it's going to be a Galarian Stunfisk, and Wobbuffet can actually win this battle because of the counter damage. Now, granted, they did take a little bit of extra damage from charge moves and fast moves there from Lanturn, but ultimately this counter damage is adding up. So let's see what a Rock Slide or Earthquake can do here to a XL Wobbuffet. They do decide to shield the Earthquake. That's a solid shield in terms of the energy used by Galarian Stunfisk. As you guys know, Rock Slide is less energy, so had they shielded that, that would have been a good shield bait by the opponent. Return and Mirror Coat as well are both resisted right here. But ultimately, Wobbuffet is just going to handedly take this mid-game against Galarian Stunfisk, as they can easily survive an Earthquake. If we saw how much damage a Blizzard did, like, Earthquake is just nothing to this Wobbuffet. This is very cool as the Mirror Coat gets shielded right there, and they fully counter down, but the opponent decided to counter swap back into Lanturn, trying to throw another charge move as the Surf is not enough, and they can bring in the XL Lickitung right here and look to take out the Lanturn with the Power Whip, as it will do super effective damage. Now, the opponent might have a charge move still banked on Galarian Stunfisk. We saw them swap out, and they could have a Rock Slide ready to go, so the Charizard needs to be prepared for that, which is likely how we're going to see no shields right here, because they know there's that energy in the back, and we still don't know what that final Pokemon is. But with Lickitung loading up to max energy right here and throwing the Power Whip, they're in a very good position to close this game out, as it's not going to be enough damage, but they can still fast move down. They're going to go ahead and not give up the final shield as well, as the Surf is not enough to take them out. What is that final Pokemon going to be? I don't know what it was. I think, was this Hawlucha? Let's see. It was a Hawlucha in the back. So Fighting Flying. First time seeing this in Go Battling myself. They're going to be forced to shield right here, but we got to remember that Galarian Stunfisk has the charge move. So this is going to be very dangerous if the opponent tries to swap out, but no, they're going to go ahead and stay in, and they have fast moves ready to go. Let's see what they decide to come in with. It's going to be the Lanturn, so they're going to go ahead and throw the Dragon Claw right here. And let's see if the Galarian... I mean, it's game over. Charizard's going to take this one. Yeah, the Charizard does get the Dragon Claw off. This is going to force that final shield. Remember, there's still Lickitung and there's still Wobbuffet to do fast move damage as well. But they do decide to shield right there. And they did have a Rock Slide loaded, so Charizard is going to go down. Boom! But Wobbuffet can come in and counter down. And that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one, we have Charizard versus Altaria once again on the lead. So this is a situation where they want to apply pressure with Dragon Claw, but they might look to catch the charge move. No, I'm just going based off of where they're tapping. A lot of players signal what they're going to do next based on where they tap. And as we saw there, they were tapping near Wobbuffet, so they're looking to try to catch the charge move on it, but now they're going to be forced to shield this next Sky Attack, and hopefully they can throw another Dragon Claw right here, and this is where you need to consider on Charizard bailing out. You don't know what they have in the back, and Charizard could be a really nice counter, and they actually do decide to swap now into the Lickitung, and in comes a Medicham. So this is a very good situation for Lickitung in order to apply a lot of pressure, right? Lick does super effective damage, Body Slam does a lot of neutral damage, and if this is Power Up Punch as well, let's see, Yeah, it is going to be Power Up Punch. This Medicham now is actually in a much better position to come out on the back end with some loaded energy and apply shield pressure to either Charizard. It's not going to apply shield pressure to the Wobbuffet, let's be real. Surviving Blizzard and Earthquakes like it was nothing. But they do get a shield right there. I believe I just saw a shield. I was talking to you guys. Yes, they did get a shield. That is beautiful now. So this is very ideal as Wobbuffet could come in and load up on energy, saving the Charizard. No, they do decide to actually come in with Charizard. They're going to be forced to shield, but they make a beautiful swap instead, catching the charge move. If this is Psychic, no, it's a Power-Up Punch. Wow, okay, so Medicham trying desperately to get to another charge move, but it's not going to be able to in time. Wobbuffet versus Altaria and that final Pokemon. Altaria comes back in. What is the final Pokemon in the back? Please tell me it's something like Bastiodon. Let's see it. It's good. It was a Bastiodon. Let's go, Wobbuffet. Come on, put in some work right here with counter. Now, they're probably going to be going for, I would guess, returns to just do as much damage as possible. I honestly don't know what's going to be the better in this situation. They do go for the return. Now, mind you guys, I have not seen these battles beforehand. I was just literally wishing into existence a Bastiodon to see the matchup, and it actually worked out. So that's actually really cool. Now, do they catch the charge move? They do catch the charge move now on Charizard. That is a beautiful swap, as it's easy to catch it if the opponent throws on the move count they're supposed to. It's going to be 7 smackdowns to both Stone Edge and Flamethrower. So they're going to go ahead and go for the return here. And now they should be able to counter down in time, and Wobbuffet completely takes it. And that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Trevenant on the lead. Okay, so Charizard in a very strong position right here. They have 2 good answers to a Trevenant on this team. And the opponent deciding to stay in might just regret it, as Charizard with energy can be so deadly if you don't have a hard counter to resist those charge moves. And they do get the first shield of this game, so they're going to go ahead and shield as well, stopping the potential Shadow Ball. But it was just a Seed Bomb, so now we'll see if they're going to try to go for another. Yep, they do go for another Seed Bomb right here. This is very quick. They're going to go ahead and let this go through as they can survive. And now they can fast move down. And they have loaded energy. And a knockdown comes in. And they go for the Dragon Claw. But hopefully they didn't go down to the fast move. As they now... Actually, they did go down. That is unfortunate. But they still got a shield. That's what's very important. Now, what do you bring in? They're going to go ahead and bring in the Lickitung right here. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Lanturn in the back. Potentially, so they're going to go ahead and look to no-shield this first charge move, as it is just going to be a Sky Attack and Body Slam here. We'll still do a good amount of neutral damage. Now, we know the Trevenant is still alive in the back, so they need to be wary about that, and saving Lickitung to potentially fast move that down could be a big play right here for energy. So they're going to go ahead and let this next Sky Attack go through. They need to look to swap potentially into Wobbuffet here soon, because Knockdown might just be able to farm down with Wing Attack. So, yes, we do see the swap out now into Wobbuffet, saving the Lickitung at a perfect amount of health, where they can still fast move down the Trevenant if they decide to come back in. But in this case, Wobbuffet is going to go ahead and stop the potential Shadow Ball. It was just a Sky Attack. And now we have a Registeel. Okay, we're seeing Wobbuffet take down Galarian Stunfisk. We saw it take down a Bastiodon. Now, what can it do to a Registeel? We're going to find out. Here comes the first charge move, likely just going to be a Zap Cannon right here. And let's see if it gets the attack drop. No attack drop. That means counter is still doing its full potential damage as they now go for another return. And this is, again, going to be a very close game. Remember, there is still a Trevenant in the back and a Knockdown. They're wanting to catch the charge move on the Lickitung right there, as we saw with the fast move or the tapping animations, but they didn't get it in time. They do now swap into Lickitung, and the opponent swaps into Knockdown, so they can actually go for the Body Slam here. Hopefully this does enough neutral damage to take it out. Yes, it does. Registeel's coming back in. I don't think it can lock on down. They're going to be able to fast move down, and there's just the Trevenant in the back, and they surrender. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. We got Charizard versus Azumarill on the lead. Tough lead matchup right here. So they're going to go ahead and swap out right away into the Wobbuffet. In comes a Galvantula as well. This is double hard counter city, as Galvantula with Volt Switch and Lunge. That Lunge is what Wobbuffet needs to look out for, because it does do super effective damage and consistently lowers the attack right here, which is going to make Wobbuffet do less and less over time. Now, that return still did quite a bit, so this might be a good position for them to potentially get a shield if they decide to shield themselves, which they're looking to do, because now they can get to this next return. But do they go for the Mirror Coat? They're going to go ahead and go for the shield bait here, maybe trying to go for switch advantage, which Wobbuffet could potentially get. No, the opponent decided not to shield, so now do they risk it? Double shield and counter down? No, they're going to let it go as the lunge takes it out, and Charizard now is going to come back in. But we see a counter swap back into Azumarill by the opponent, so now Lickitung has the open door to potentially flip this game around. The matchup here is really nice as Bubble and Play Rough don't do too much damage, and the Power Whip has to be respected by the Azumarill. But thankfully for the Azumarill, they do still have 2 shields remaining, but they decide to let that one go through. My goodness, what could that third Pokemon be if they're deciding to no shield? Knowing that the opponent knows the remaining Pokemon, right? Charizard and Lickitung, saving all shields for that final Pokemon could be a huge tell that something in the back does hard counter a Bastiodon, and they just want to save the shields for it. But no, they decide to shield right there as they get to another Body Slam in time, potentially forcing shield number 2 from the opponent. No, they let it go. In comes Galarian Stunfisk. Here we go. Buckle up, everyone. Rock Slide versus Blast Burn. And there is the potential for the Dragon Claw shield bait. Let's see how this plays out. They do shield it. Let's see if the opponent... No, the opponent swapped out. That was a mistake because now they can go for the Dragon Claw. And this is a big call right here by the opponent. Will they shield? Yes, they do. Do they get to the Blast Burn? Of course they do. Charizard. I keep wanting to say Dragonite. My daughter calls Charizard Dragonite. Boom! One-shots Galarian Stunfisk. We're still Worksheets 2, by the way, for anyone judging. What do you mean? She says she likes the orange one, Dragonite, and then she sees Charizard and Dragonite. They're both orange, dragon-looking Pokemon. But she's 2, so just chill a bit in the comments. She's going to be a Pokemon Master one day. But we do see a Alolan Ninetales here on the lead. So Charizard is going to go ahead and look to shield that and then load up and go for potentially for a double Blast Burn. Let's see what the opponent decides to do here. They do give up 1 shield, and now they should be able to get to another one in time, and I believe this is Charm. There's so much shadow effects going on that it's hard to see the fast move, but I believe that was a Charm Ninetales, and we do see a Swampert come in, a Shadow Swampert as well, so Wobbuffet is going to go ahead and come in and look to put in work. Now, we don't know what that final Pokemon is, but it could be another water Pokemon, which looks to be the call from this battler, from Pochum. And no, it's actually going to be a Trevenant. So this is beautiful right here. Lickitung is going to be handling this. And this is going to be a good game as Lickitung. Oh, they decided to go for the Shadow Ball. Seed Bomb does do neutral damage, but I think the opponent knows that there is no hope in sight as a Lickitung can both take out a Trevenant and one-shot the Swampert. So this is going to be a good game as they now go for Body Slams. This is resisted, but any chip damage is going to be needed in order to fast move down the Trevenant. As you guys can see, they can now safely fast move down right here. No shield as well because you still have the Wobbuffet in the back, which can counter down. And yeah, they go ahead and take this one. This is looking to be a good game. They're going to go ahead and go for the Power Whip here for the one-shot, forcing the final shield of this battle. But how much energy does Swampert have remaining? They don't care. They're going to go ahead and swap now into Wobbuffet and look to go for the return. And I, just like you, I'm curious if this one-shots. I don't think it will. Oh, that's still a ton of damage. And this is going to be a good game as Wobbuffet is going to safely shield this charge move as it is going to be the Earthquake and counter down. Beautiful game right there. All right. Moving. Was that the final? That was the final one already? Oh, it's already over. Okay, if you guys want to go check out some more battles from this trainer, Pochum, also known as Broken Traveler ED, Twitch channel and links to their socials down in the comments. Be sure to go check them out. So huge shout out to this battler. Thank you for sharing these battles with us. That was really fun. Shadow Charizard, Wobbuffet, and Lickitung. What a cool, unique team that is also very strong, apparently, in the Great League. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.